Condiments. One.
Live. Like, share, subscribe, share the live, get five. Somebody will die named Anime Eye. Yeah. We got a
What's
special
happening? What's
guest
happening?
in the building. This is the rebellion we got my man at the corner. This is Dre.
What's up, Dre?
We
How's it
got
going?
Carl right here in the middle.
What's happening?
We got
What's up
Bobby
with you?
over here on the right. If you'd like to introduce yourself, my brother, how you pronounce your name? I don't want to mess it up. Is it
Yeah,
how it's spelled?
my name is Jiba Mole Anderson. I
Fire.
am the publisher of Griot Enterprises, the creator of its flagship title, The Horseman, and the curator of the 4 pages, 16 bars, visual mixtape anthology series.
Fire. That was perfect. Did you practice that? Because that was perfect introduction.
You know what? I've been doing this for a minute now. So
Okay.
if I don't have the spiel down pat by now, it's a wrap.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. So one thing that I came across your 16 bars mixtape, visual mixtape. Now, me being an MC, I seen that and I was like, wait, hold on. I couldn't. Can you break that down for us? Break that down for us. What it naturally is. What is it?
Okay, so the philosophy behind 4 pages, 16 bars, a visual mixtape, is that comics are hip hop. What I mean by comics being hip hop is that much like hip hop, for decades, comic books were an underground culture. It's definitely an art form or an industry that was started in large part by the marginalized. I'm not necessarily saying Black folk, although Black folk have been a part of the landscape of comics from its inception. And I'm not talking about characters, I'm talking about creators and artists as well. But if you think about comics, like the cats who really started the industry were, the Jewish and the Italian immigrants, pretty much in New York, which was the home of publishing. So, just like hip hop, comics started from humble beginnings, just like hip hop, you got beef in comics. Comics can be political, comics can be gully, comics can be fun. Furthermore, the notion of comics being hip hop was in response to a lot of cats that I heard or that complained when I came up with this idea. They were like, "Oh, we need one house for all Black comics. We need another milestone, blase, please." I was like, you know what? Hip hop wasn't one house. Like, hip hop isn't just Death Row. Hip hop isn't just Def Jam. Hip hop isn't just No Limit. Hip hop isn't just Cash Money, Rockets, so on and so forth. Hip hop is the culture. All of these elements.
Well, I want to pause you real quick. Out of those dudes you named, who would smash the other?
I don't even roll like that. Because
hold up.
Because I'm gonna say this in all honesty, real talk. I'm a backpacker, so I'm a cat that
you're talking to one. You're talking to one.
Like musically, I'm a native tongues cat. I'm originally from Detroit, so Dilla all day, Slum Village all day, so on and so forth. Like I'm a real one when it comes to hip hop. So
same here.
So when I talk about hip hop, I'm talking about the culture. I'm talking about the elements. So
the culture also is battle. So with that said,
the culture the culture is battle too. However, the culture is more so community than battle. Too many people get caught up in the battle. They don't recognize the unity that it took for hip hop to achieve the global presence that it does have, that is still dominant. And that is the same thing when it comes to Black comics, what I mean? And Black comics creators, right? You got to understand, like, I have been a professional in this game for 20 plus years.
Okay.
This is the 20th anniversary of my title, The Horseman. So
Okay.
I've been in the mix for a minute. I've been the bridge, from the Milestone Tribe Brother Man days till now.
Okay.
Wow.
I came into the comic book scene in '95. That's when I made my first foray. The Horseman dropped in 2002. So I'm a vet when it comes to this.
Yeah. So the visual mixtape is like a amalgamation of all of that.
It's an anthology of it. It's celebrating Black comics, and it's celebrating the history of that. I liken 4 pages, 16 bars to Heavy Metal meets The Source.
Okay.
In terms of when it comes to hip hop, it's the philosophy of hip hop. It's the mentality of hip hop that drives 4 pages, 16 bars, right? So in terms of the anthology series, you have each issue or each volume, you have comics, you do have your 4 pages, you have a little bit of long plays, so you have your web comics, you have indie comics, when we come to different genres, you have different genres. So you have the superhero, you'll have the fantasy, you'll have comedy, you know what I mean? You'll have the slice of life. We also support it with articles talking about the nature of Black comics, and also galleries of illustrators who've really made an impact, and so on and so forth. For instance, past volumes of 4 pages, 16 bars, we've had independent illuminaries like Roosevelt Pitt, Purge, as well as cats like Sanford Green, from Bitter Root, Kari Randolph from Excellence, David Walker, who is the co-creator of Naomi, Michelin Hess,
Lonnie Lowe. Shout out to Lonnie.
Lowe. Yeah, I mean, so we run the gamut. It's like indie, mainstream, it doesn't matter. It's all comics. The only thing that does matter is that in 4 pages, 16 bars, all of the work is independent work. You will not see DC or Marvel. You will not see the corporate 2 in there for a couple of reasons. Number one, legality. Number two, that's not what it's all about. When it comes to the corporate 2, in a lot of ways, their quote unquote diversity has been lip service.
Got you.
You see what I mean? I would say more so DC than Marvel, because what Marvel has over DC is that Marvel created the iconic, unique, individual African and African American characters that have become icons, right? So, from Black Panther to Brother Voodoo to Blade to Storm to Luke Cage to Misty Knight to the Falcon, so on and so forth. Those characters have their own identity and their own agency. With DC, they came into the mix already doing legacy versions of major characters, right? With John Stewart, being the Green Lantern, right? Later on, you had Black Lightning coming out in '77, and then later on Vixen. But you really didn't see DC like making that effort, and even nowadays they haven't really made that effort. I mean, we had some characters pop out, like definitely Cyborg. I'm not knocking Cyborg being a major character.
Fuck Cyborg. Go ahead.
I'm not.
That's a whack character. I hate Cyborg's character. But go ahead.
I don't. It does that kind of thing. In terms of like characters being whack or stuff like that, right? I got to the point. It's not about the character, but it's about the creator who created the character and the agency that they placed into the character. So, for instance, you may think that Cyborg is a whack character. But I challenge you that the reason why you think Cyborg is a whack character is because you've never read a book about Cyborg that gave him power and agency.
Exactly. That's right. That's
What
right.
You know what I'm
what
saying?
about what about him being just whack though?
He's for me. He's not a whack character.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Okay, so
me,
that's where
for me,
we
it's like
line at.
yeah. For me, it's like that character has untapped potential.
I can see that. I can see you were just saying because you basically it's like what we always say, like 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 I've never been interested in Cyborg mainly because there's no real reason to be. There's nobody putting the emphasis on him. Like for instance, like War Machine. You know what I'm saying? Like War Machine had a few runs and they
I
tried
like
to put the character. Now I'm more interested in War Machine than I ever
right,
have.
because at a time at Marvel, they had Tony go off the deep end on a bender, and Rodney had to take over.
Yeah.
And so you had that opportunity to flesh Rodney out, Rhodey out character. You know what I mean? Now, I was a little bit incorrect in saying that no character is whack because no, I'm not. I mean, because
hey, I would highly disagree. But go ahead.
I'm saying, for instance, like I never thought that Night Thrasher was a valuable character.
Oh, I love Night Thrasher.
Well, you love Night Thrasher. For me, I'm like meh. And again, it's because no writer has ever made me care. About Night Thrasher.
Yeah.
Right? I would say a better version of Night Thrasher was when
But I don't like the design or nothing like that. What if you don't like the design of the character?
That's another thing. I don't like the design of the character either. That's another thing. Like
sometimes it's just hard to get around.
I'm coming from an artist and a writer's perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what's the link? What's the right? Like I was thinking about Supreme Power, and I thought a much better version of Night Thrasher was a Black Nighthawk. Like that cat, and especially when David Walker wrote that that brief series, man, that was unapologetic.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great character, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Black Panther, for example. Again, I mean, I was born in the 70s, so I kind of grew up with a lot.
Okay.
So
do you agree? Do you agree with what's the creator of Underworld?
Kevin Grevioux?
He wrote that.
Here's the thing. He wrote that and acting like that was a new thing.
Like, okay, there we go. That's what I was going to
say. I mean, like people.
So tell my audience what he said. Hold on, real quick, Jibba. Hold on, Jibba. Tell my audience what he said, if you don't mind.
Well, he basically was lamenting over the fact that he called DC's characters hand-me-down Black characters, that they didn't develop new characters and whatnot, and he really got bent out of shape with the latest promotional piece that DC put out for Black History Month. And at that point, it was basically because of what's happening right now with DC. You got the Black Batman up there, you got the Black Superman, you got 2 Black Green Lanterns up there, you got Black Aquaman up there, you finally have Bubia, who had been a cipher for almost 40 years now, a character and whatnot up in there and whatnot. And he was like, well, what about the other Black? Like, where's Vixen? Like, where's, Bumblebee? Like, where are these, other characters? What about the Milestone?
I do kind of want to see though, because Vixen, I love Vixen as a character.
Here's the thing about it. Last year, independently, some brothers did a jam piece of Black superheroes from the Corporate 2, which was fire.
Yeah.
Right? And that's actually the point that I'm getting to. Is that a lot of cats, and I'm going to say a lot of brothers in particular, are late to the party.
No,
and a lot of brothers get mad over shit that is easily in their control. This is what I mean. Okay. First of all, there has been a contingent of black folk that did want their black Superman, their black Batman, their black Wonder Woman. So
yeah, fuck that.
No,
go ahead.
Here's the thing. They got that. No, it's not necessarily that. It's like they got that. Cats are still not satisfied. Then you wait. Then you have another contingent. You have another contingent talking about, what about how come they don't create original characters, so on and so forth. Now this is twofold. Because cats who are talking about why don't they create original characters, number one, are not looking at independent black comic books. Because if you just turn to the left, right, you have
this nigga Bobby been saying that for like a long time.
Of independent black comic books killing the game right now. From Spider to Excellence to Bitterroot to Spirit's Destiny to my own book, The Horseman, to Witch Doctor, to
Crescent City Monsters.
The Crescent City Monsters, which is my fucking jam.
It's hard.
Right. Like and so many more. Right? Cat's not looking at that. Because they keep looking at the corporate too, and they're looking at the other, and they're looking at the man to validate them by creating characters that they have no control over, that are just.
I am a victim of that. Growing up with DC, and then looking for them to give me what I want in blackness. I have been a victim to that. Now that also has to do with do I want to abandon what I like completely?
Here's the thing.
Because of that, that's another part of the problem, right? Is that cats feel like, oh, it's either or. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll read everything. By no
means it's not either or. It's more so yes and. You know what I mean?
I want it all.
It's more. Here's the thing: you have it all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The thing about it is that you don't have it all in the place that you're looking at.
Yeah. A couple years ago,
we do. They don't.
Yeah. Right. You dig? Like if you gonna wait for DC and Marvel to act right, DC and Marvel being PWIs, meaning predominantly white institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you waiting for them to represent you waiting forever.
Hey,
as opposed to, now here's another thing too, because of the fact that we have been
go ahead, Bobby. After this,
we have been conditioned to pursue the gaze of the other, right? So much to the point that even when our own people create something, we're like, it must not be good enough because the other didn't validate that.
Yeah, that's whack. That's whack.
You know what I'm saying? That's
because I got two dope motherfuckers right here that don't give a fuck about none of that.
Exactly. That's part of a mental liberation too. Like you said, for instance, like you were waiting on DC and Marvel to act right. Me, I didn't wait. I was like, they're not acting.
I'm talking about as a kid, and
even
as a kid.
Even as a kid. Like, let me tell you something about myself. I knew I wanted to do comics when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And even when I was 10 years old, I was like, no, when I say I want to do comics, I'm not talking about I want to draw Batman, I want to draw Superman, I want to draw Spider-Man. I was like, I want to make my own comics.
Yes.
And so, for instance, like in terms of my education, for me, DC and Marvel, that was like entry level. That was like remedial. Like even as a young kid, I was reading independent books. Like I was more influenced by independent books than by the corporate too. So, like for instance, I was reading ElfQuest, I was reading Mage, I was reading Grendel, I was reading Heavy Metal. I was reading Warp.
I read Heavy Metal.
Nexus. You know what I'm saying? Like I always kept 1 foot outside of the corporate too. So I knew about Charlton Comics. Like I knew about The Question,
the Max,
and
Did y'all fuck with the Max?
Stuff like that.
Did you fuck with the Max?
Before, by the time the Max came out, I was in college, and by that time, I wasn't necessarily looking at the Max. I was looking at Tribe.
Okay.
You dig? Larry Stroman, Todd Johnson, two brothers, still to this day, made the highest selling black comic book of all time. 1 million copies.
Jiba, real quick. Hey, y'all. Hey, look, hold on, real quick. Hold on. Sir. I have to. All right. I don't, next time you come on here, instead of putting your name on here, you are the professor. You hear me? Because listen, everything that you're saying, and you just drop some gems on me, hey, brother, like a lot of this, we all talk about. This is one of the persons one of the reasons why we all got together is to highlight Black creators, because because even like myself, like when I was growing up, I would Chris Kearmont's X-Men. That's what I jumped on first. That's what was introduced to me first. Yeah. But I always used to wonder, damn, there are no Black people. Oh, okay, well, I'm just going to keep chugging along.
Yeah, and that's not even the truth. I'll tell you this. Like I went to my first Comic-Con in Detroit. I was about 16 years old. I went to that. The first artist that I met, it's not Chuck Patton. Oh gosh, it was another brother. It was Keith Pollard. Keith Pollard was the first comic book artist that I met. Keith Pollard worked for DC. He worked on Batman, a number of other things. He is a brother. The first comic book artist that I met in the business was Black. And that showed me that I have a place in this business and I have a place in this industry. That's another issue that I have with a lot of cats talking about, the Black presence in comics, because they focus on the characters, but they don't know anything about the creator.
Christopher Priest is one of my favorite writers.
Exactly. And one of the things about 4 pages, 16 bars is that I focus on the creators, because that is where the true diversity is.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Like people are worried about, we need more Black characters. It's like, no, you need more dope Black creators and Latino and Asian and LGBTQ, so on and so forth. What I'm saying with 4 pages, 16 bars is like, we not only are we here, not only have we been here, but we are a part of a tradition that has been present since the beginning of the comic book industry. Like a lot of y'all cats don't know about Jackie Orms. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
You're talking to me when you said that.
Or George Harriman. George Harriman, the creator of Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat is lauded still to this day as one of the greatest comic strips of all time. Okay. And that comic strip is pure trash.
Hold on, brother. Hey, can you Drake, can you do me a huge favor and type these names in the chat?
Please. Actually, real talk. Get into 4 pages, 16 bars, and we educate you. We talk about these cats. We mention these cats. Not only do we show what happens currently, but we also talk about the past. You know what I mean? And we also talk about the tradition. You see what I'm saying?
There we go. You just explained it to me full circle, and I fuck with you for that. That's why you're the professor. Hey, he gave you the professor name. That's why I fuck with you for that. What you just did. Hey,
I mean, it's funny. It's funny that you call me the professor, because in my secret identity, I am a professor as well.
Are you really? Are you really?
Yes.
Go ahead and drop your credentials. Drop your credentials, man. Let me hear.
So
go ahead. Well, hold on, quick. Go ahead, Bobby.
I got that feeling when he started talking. I sat up. I had a feeling there, like the way. Yeah, no, I felt that coming from me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim. My bad.
It's like for 11 years I taught animation and video game design. I also taught graphic design. I currently teach branding and advertising. At places like Chicago State University. I have spoken across the country about comics. As a matter of fact, next month I'm going to University of Texas at Austin for a conference out there.
Nice.
I have work in the National Smithsonian Museum of African Art.
Okay.
So my book, The Horseman, is part of a long time exhibition at the Smithsonian National Museum of African Art, as well as Michigan State University. Yeah.
Hey, can you type that in the chat for me, Jay? Because I will be.
Just go to grioenterprises.com. I'll just type in the website.
Send that to me. Go ahead, Bobby. What was you gonna say?
Real quick, so you from Detroit?
Yeah,
Detroit.
Yeah,
I need a top 5 all-time Detroit MCs. That's what I need from you.
Top 5. Okay.
I'll make it harder. Top 3. I want to see.
Oh, that's easier.
He said that's easier.
Let's get it.
Number 1, you got Elzhi.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
That's my nigga.
Come on, man.
You
got
Royce. Let's roll with the rest of that list. Let's roll with it.
It's like 2, you got Royce the 5'9", right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, because he's still living,
I said Elzhi.
3 is T3.
Say again?
T3.
Oh.
You got me there. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
T3,
you gotta be
one of the members of Slum Village.
Yeah.
I would have also said by 10, but by 10.
Slum Village.
Slum Village.
Yeah.
If you know about Dilla and you don't know about Slum Village, you don't know about Dilla.
Yeah. Oh, tell him. Preach.
Hey, I can't tell you. I got into Dilla.
If you don't have Fantastic Volume 2 in your life and you call yourself a Dilla fan, you a goddamn lie.
Okay, now here's what I'm gonna say. I love Dilla's beats. Never got into Dilla's music. I will tell you that. I'm everything around it. You never got there.
You ain't no Dilla fan. You ain't no Dilla.
Oh no, not a Dilla fan. Can't say that. Them beats was hard.
The fact of the matter is, Dilla was a musician with that MPC. He did things with that MPC that cats still are trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying?
This money. Hey.
Yeah, when you said Elzhi, you had me at Elzhi.
Because he threw that out quick too.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been there.
But those are bar. Those are you named a bar heavy dude. So that's what threw me. Like, that's bar heavy.
That's the
bars. He's bars.
That's the kind of hip hop I am.
Okay, there we go. Hey, you prove. That also, number 1.
Like also real talk. Like, man, just because he's a white boy, don't sleep on Marshall. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like Eminem. Like, I heard Eminem before Dr. Dre got a hold of him. And dog, Eminem.
He's poop.
The whole crew. I knew Proof back in the day.
I said poop.
No.
Like, we have our I'm seriously have a strong disagreement with Eminem. I think he has pulled the wool over our eyes for so many years that he has a hold on. Here now let me let you into